If you accidentally touch a glowing ember, your body's immediate, hardwired response is to pull away and seek out cold water. But in clinical practice, an anomaly exists. A patient who is deeply cold and anxious, yet suffering from a gnawing abdominal pain that feels like hot coals, along with acrid tears that burn their cheeks. Instead of asking for ice or a cool breeze, this patient pushes away cold air and demands a hot water bottle to press against the burning pain. This defiance of physiological logic identifies a specific, profound state of illness in homeopathic medicine. Decoding this contradiction, why a burning patient begs for heat, reveals the underlying logic of the Arsenicum Album profile. The physical suffering in this state follows a strict set of environmental triggers. These triggers are tracked as modalities. The patient's condition predictably plummets right after midnight in cold, wet weather. These indicators only stabilize when introduced to external warmth, warm drinks, and head elevation. Alongside these environmental rules, the patient exhibits an intense, unquenchable thirst. However, the digestive tract rejects large amounts of liquid, restricting them to tiny, frequent sips and trapping them in a cycle of constant, unsatisfied deprivation. This internal distress manifests outwardly as a state of profound systemic exhaustion. The slightest exertion drains their energy entirely, leaving them physically weak and barely able to stand. Despite this physical collapse, the mind remains gripped by an intense, restless anguish. This psychological tension forces them to pace from bed to chair, physically spent, but incapable of finding stillness. This is a systemic short circuit, where absolute physical exhaustion and neurological hyper-restlessness occur simultaneously. At the deepest level, this restlessness is driven by an acute psychological panic and the terror of death. The patient may anxiously clutch at a family member's sleeve, terrified of being left alone. Yet, in the middle of this existential panic, they will often begin to meticulously organize their immediate surroundings. Straightening medicine bottles into a perfectly spaced row on a nightstand is a direct response to their loss of internal control. They create external order to manage the chaos within. This logic tree shows how these nuances differentiate Arsenicum. The left branch represents nux vomica, sharing chilly digestive issues, but presenting a patient who is angry, impatient, and unaffected by heat. Arsenicum Album is defined by a state of profound anguish and a requirement for heat that the nux vomica patient lacks. A successful diagnosis relies on identifying these specific emotional signatures and the paradoxical need for warmth. Analyzing the Arsenicum profile requires looking past the individual symptoms to the overarching pattern of the illness. While a burning pain or a chilled body identifies the sensation, the modalities, the specific triggers of time and temperature, provide the context for the diagnosis. Arsenicum Album presents a biological system attempting to regulate an internal fire while facing total physical collapse. When a patient with agonizing, burning abdominal pain insists on pressing a hot water bottle to their stomach all night, the contradiction vanishes. You are seeing the definitive signature of Arsenicum Album.